It's showtime. What's up, good people? And welcome to the Frank Harris Show, the biggest, the baddest, and the best show on earth. I got my man, Dominican E. Yo, E, you in the building, E. Right off the press, E. Talk to me. JJ Reddick, 4-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. Fresh off the press, E. Let's get into it, E. Tell me, E. What you think, E, about the hire?
I mean, this is one we have to wait and see. I mean, first year coach, no experience. LeBron's guy, obviously. So I mean, great basketball mind, but I don't know how it's going to play out in LA. You know, that's LeBron's guy. AD might feel a certain way about the situation. Maybe he didn't have a say so in the processing hiring. You know, so AD might feel a certain way. And JJ Reddick could rub people the wrong way. He's one of those Duke guys that fall in the line
Yes,
of like,
smug,
yeah,
arrogant. Oh, yeah, I'm
arrogant,
glad you brought that up.
like Christian
I'm
Laettner
glad
type.
you brought that up.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yes, yes.
oh, how
Oof.
is he going to relate to the players? You know, him being removed. You know, about a year, 2 years, 3 years removed from the game. Like, how is he going to relate to the players? I mean, let's see what happens. But it's going to be
So let me
interesting.
say a couple of things. So I agree with you about his smug arrogance, right? It's something about JJ Redick that just strikes people the wrong way. Okay, that's one. Definitely is an LeBron hire. I think AD probably wanted Hurley. When Hurley said no, they needed a splash hire. The splash hire at this point is Redick because no one's available, right? James Borregio and all these guys that are good assistant coaches for years, no one cares about those guys, unfortunately, right?
Yes.
So those guys will get the other jobs, like maybe Detroit or whatever smaller jobs are available, right? The LA needed a splash hire, especially after being left at the altar by Danny Hurley. Okay. Reddick is a splash hire. He's all over the internet. This is another example of LeBron James, Eric. This has LeBron James handprints, fingerprints, footprints all over this. Okay.
All over.
This is
Yes.
another example of LeBron James. He undermined Ham, right? And then he did a podcast with JJ Redick to try to show the world how smart this guy was, right? Showed everybody he was my guy, put his arm around him for the Lakers and for the organization, and then all of a sudden the guy gets hired with no coaching experience, Eric. And I think it's a terrible hire, okay, because you have a guy who's smug, who's young, who's annoying, who's knowledgeable. E, I agree with you in terms of knowledgeable. Does he have a coach's demeanor? E, I don't think he does. Number one, and he just doesn't have experience, Eric. It's very hard to coach without having coaching experience. The guy wasn't an assistant coach in the NBA at least beforehand. None of it, Eric. And he's coming to a veteran team where the directive is to win a championship now. LeBron is old. E, so you walking into a situation that's not developmental. Now I give you and by the way, this hardly ever works, right? We saw it not work with Steve Nash recently when he was a first-time coach and had no coaching experience. Now, let me tell you a time that it did work, Eric. It worked with Steve Kerr. Now, Steve Kerr got the Golden State Warrior job, and he's done a phenomenal job. But at least Steve Kerr has some experience, right? He was a commentator like JJ Redick, but he also was a GM for years. Okay, so he got some experience as a GM handling players.
But he wasn't he under Popovich?
I don't know if he was under Popovich staff-wise, but that's interesting. I don't know if he was as a coach. I know he played under Popovich, obviously, but I'm not sure if he was under Popovich as a coach. But that being said, he had no NBA head coaching experience, and he led that Warriors team unexpectedly to heights that nobody expected them to get, and especially fast. Okay. Yes. But let me tell you the difference in the two jobs, E. The difference in the two jobs. When he did that, what was the expectation for the Warriors? None. Right? So the bar is low. So he got a chance to come in there, experiment, make some mistakes, etc. There was no spotlight on him. JJ Redick coming in coaching two experienced vet players where the directive is to win now, win now, win now, with championship or bust. It's a different world, different level of pressure, stress, expectation. I don't understand how a first-year coach with no experience is going to handle that. Even when Ty Lue was the coach for LeBron in Cleveland, I mean, the expectation was good, but it wasn't close to what it is right now for him in the Lakers. With his age, with the level of veteran leadership and veterans in that locker room, E, I don't know how it's going to work, Eric. And I'm on record right now saying it's a bad hire.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence. I also think like maybe his assistants could
On the
help. I
fence.
mean, I'm on the fence right now as far as being a good or bad hire.
Never works, Eric.
I'm saying depending on who he
Never
hires
works.
as assistants, he
So
could get some veteran
Eric, hold on,
guys,
hold on, hold on,
some
hold on.
veteran guys.
Let me ask you a question. When you say you're on the fence as it potentially being a good or bad hire, that means because everything you said so far means it's a bad hire. You said he's smug and he's arrogant. He's one of those do guys like Leitner. You said he has no experience coaching at all. You said he's coaching a veteran team that you don't know what the level of respect would be. Why? So tell me what's the positive and why you think what's the good hire side? Because you said you torn. What you torn about?
I mean, I'm torn because he's LeBron's guy. That's number one.
Come on, bro.
And LeBron is going to fight for him. He's going to do everything possible to make that transition of him not having the experience, being a first year guy, make it smooth.
But doesn't make it a good hire.
Within the locker room, he got to win over the locker room. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to win over the locker room. You got to win that. Once he wins the respect out of the players, I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
But why is it a good hire, right? You're not saying why he's a good hire. You saying, well, he's LeBron's guy. A lot of guys got hired that were LeBron's guy.
He's a great mind. He's a great basketball mind. He's a great basketball mind. Young, innovative. Understands the game. You know what I'm saying? So from that perspective, that's where I'm torn because he understands the game. Now, can he translate that to the players and have the players play for him? That's where I'm torn because he understands the game. X's and O's wise, he knows the game. Now,
Eric, all these guys
translate over?
Steve Nash to know the game? I mean, all these guys know the game, Eric.
Yeah, they know the game. Delvin Ham they knew the game. He sucked.
Right.
You saw him in a timeout.
That's what I'm saying. What does that mean?
At least this guy, he can
Eric,
command,
I'm saying to you,
command a huddle.
Knowing the game is not enough.
I'm saying he could command a timeout.
Who can?
He could command the respect out of the players.
Who can?
So from that aspect, no, Frankie, I think I'm in between. I'm on the fence. That's why I said I'm on the fence. I think it could work.
Eric, hold on. How do you know Reddick can handle a timeout? How do you know Reddick can handle a timeout and control the players? You don't know that.
I'm saying X and O wise, Frank.
You're being random.
X and O's, Frank.
You don't know. You don't know under the pressure. You don't know that. You don't know what he does in the huddle. You don't know that. He's never been in a huddle before. As a coach, there's no way.
But what I'm saying is the respect level. I said he has to win over the locker room. That's the first thing he has to do. Win over the locker room. Win the respect of the players. Once he does that, then everything else will be a lot easier for him. The transition will be a lot easier for him. Win over the locker room. Win over these guys. Then transition will be a lot easier for him.
Eric, the pressure of the moment.
I'm on the fence.
The pressure at the moment of being in a huddle or being in the locker room or being in places and being able to make these snap decisions and having no experience is hard. Forget about the fact that he's a smart guy. All of the guys who get head coaching jobs understand the game. All of them do, right? It's not about understanding the game, right? It's also understanding how to deal with people, how to manage people, how to manage expectations.
That's what I said.
But he has no experience in doing that. But hold on, your only positive is that Eric, your only positive is that the guy understands the game. That's your only positive. All of them understand the game. That's why they get the job. That's your only positive. Every guy who gets it. What?
Hiring the right staff. That also
Eric,
helps.
how many times do we see you hire the right staff? You hire a veteran assistant coach. It doesn't work. The head guy got to be great to win at the highest level.
Nah,
all right, bro.
You don't got to be great, Frank. You don't got to be great. The last LA, when they went at the bubble, he was great, Frank. The last head coach, he was great.
Vogel's first of all, you always comment that the bubble championships are a bad example of anything.
It is a bad example, but
so don't bring that example up. Let's bring normal circumstance situation and coaches with that. You can't play with that once in a while when it works for you. You don't like the bubble, but then excuse me, when it works for you, you want to bring the bubble up. But you always say the bubble is an aberration. Mike Malone, let's talk about guys that win. Mike Malone is a very good coach. Budenholzer these guys are very good coaches. Okay. And by the way, they're very, very experienced guys. All of these guys, how many years Malone been coaching? Budenholzer, he started with Popovich. These guys are grizzled vets, right? I mean, I don't understand how, and all the guys know the game. Your positives is the guy knows the game. They all do.
Listen, Frank, I mean, it's a new age in sports today where GMs are hiring these young, innovative coaches to come in there, change stuff.
That's not true.
You see it in
football. What are you talking about?
You see it in football. You don't see
but we talking about basketball. Don't tell me about football. Football is different than basketball. We're not talking about football. We're talking about basketball right now. What young, innovative guys are getting hired? They're not.
Jason Kidd was hired. Everybody thought he was young when he got
Eric,
the job.
Jason Kidd, first of all, you talking about when he got hired by Dallas, he had been a head coach multiple years, an assistant coach in multiple years. And by the way, his first head coaching job, he got fired, right? He didn't win because he didn't have the experience. Now, after he went and got experience, coaching, then he was now able to lead his team to a championship with experience. They all know the game, bro. But you need the experience to coach.
Joe Mazzulla.
And by the way,
what about Mazzulla?
Say it again?
Mazzulla.
Eric, he got the job by default. Nobody hired him because they thought he was a young, innovative guy. That was by default. No, by the way, no organization went out and said Joe Mazzulla is my guy. They didn't. Right? Let's talk about hires. Let's talk about hires. People that were going out there to get guys. Monty Williams, hire. He's not young and innovative. What do you mean? We talking about guys going out there getting guys. Most guys have experience. But anyway, I digress. You think it's a great hire. No, I'm joking. You think you on the fence. I know. You on the fence.
Come on,
I ain't on the fence.
Come on, Frank. I'm on the fence.
I ain't on the fence, bro. And I think this dovetails into another conversation surrounding let's switch topics a little bit. Yeah. Okay. And I think this also talks about Bronny James, okay, being drafted by the Lakers. And you've heard recently that Rich Paul has only allowed Bronny James to work out for 2 teams. You know that, right? Yes. The 2 teams he's allowed him to work out for, Lakers, Phoenix Suns. Okay. And you know what? This is so on brand for LeBron James. LeBron James is the softest guy in the world, Eric. LeBron James is the throw rocks and hide your hands guy. Okay. Everything about his brand is so calculated and soft. Okay. And let me tell you what I mean when I say that, right? If you go online and you speak an opinion about Bronny James that's not favorable, all of these bots and all these people with no followers, right? All of these fake accounts that people create like LeBron James and his people, they come at you and they try to insult you and say, oh, they call you names and you hating on a teenager and they try to shame you, right? Instead of LeBron standing up himself, right? He got to hide behind all these bots and all these fake accounts, right? Same thing going on here, Eric, with this situation, okay? They already know the Lakers are probably going to take him, okay? Or Phoenix. And by the way, remember who's the GM at Phoenix, okay? James Jones, one of LeBron James's very good friends, very good friends, huh, E? And a guy that he was teammates with, right? And won championships with in Miami, a Miami born and raised guy, but a very, very close friend of LeBron James. We all know that, right? Yep. So those are the only 2 teams that he worked out for, Eric. I mean, come on. How arrogant is this? And so for you to push the narrative down our throats, pause, that LeBron James, his son, is a pro, it's crazy when you do this. Yep. Don't push that narrative down our throat. And then as an aside, E, not only are you pushing that narrative, right, but you're telling us how great the boy is and how he's a pro and how he's so talented and how he's so good, right? He's the greatest. And then when the boy averaged 4 points a game and then we get on him, right? Because when you put him in the public eye, Eric, okay, then everything's fair game. People should be able to have an opinions. And then to go out and say, oh, he's a teenager, he's a young boy, why are you dissing him? Let me ask you a question. Victor Wembanyama was 19 years old when he came to the NBA. Fair?
Yes.
That's a teenager, correct?
Yes.
If anybody dissed Victor Wembanyama when he was, not dissed him, but gave fair assessment when he was playing bad, not doing well, was that hating? or was that just people giving true opinions about what the person is?
True assessment. They gave true assessment of what the
Right. So why is it hating when people talk about Bronny James? He's probably a 19-year-old young man, okay? And his father's the person that thrust him into the public eye. So you tell me, why is it hating when we talk about Bronny James?
I mean, that's, the culture. That's what, us as black and brown people, we call it. I just think it's, you assess the talent and you voice your opinion on the talent. And
There you go, E.
But,
so
when we say it, in today's culture, in today's climate, it's called hating, Frank. I mean, it is what it is. It's called hating, Frank. If you want to call it hating,
do you think Bronny James, if his name is not Bronny James, is an NBA player?
No.
I mean, come on, E. It's obvious. And all these people out here running with this fake narrative. And like I said, I would respect LeBron more. If LeBron has a problem with something that you say about his son, then come out and address it. Don't hide behind all these different people on the internet and hide behind all these fake accounts to speak. I'll give you an example, E. I had an exchange, as you know, recently with Dame Lillard. I said something about Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard didn't like it. Dame Lillard hit me up directly. We went back and forth. I didn't change my opinion. I respected him so much more as a man. I respected him. I already respect him as a player, but I respected him because he stepped to me with his opinion, and I stepped back to him, and I still have my opinion. And listen, we left it at cool. I respect you as a Hall of Fame player, and I respect you having your opinion. I like that, E.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. That's what I like.
Right?
But you don't like something, you confront the man, y'all talk it out as men, and then y'all leave it like that.
E. Yeah, your boy LeBron James, though, E. Soft, E. And this whole Bronny James situation, it just fits right in brand-wise, right? The guy's soft. The guy's passive-aggressive. We know he's the one that brought Reddick in, but he stands back and says, oh, I have no involvement on who the coach is going to be. Stand on it. Stand on it. Yes, you do. Yeah. Right? He gets coaches fired. Right? Hey, by the way, stand on it. You got Russell Westbrook to come to the Lakers. Yeah. You did that. Stand on it. And by the way, he's made some good choices. But stand on him, E. The guy's always the guy that says, oh, I don't have anything to do with it. Oh, I didn't say anything. I didn't know anything.
What they say now, stand on business.
Stand on business, E. Yeah. And so the whole Bronny James situation, now they getting arrogant with it, E. They won't even let him go work out for more than 2 teams, right? The Lakers and his boy. If the Lakers take him, Eric, we know that LeBron orchestrated that. We know what that was about. Oh, yeah. So you just telling us, I don't even care no more, right? My son ain't a pro, maybe or maybe not, but I'm making the Lakers take him. And I'm telling the Lakers, I ain't signing that contract until you hire J.J. Reddick, my boy, until you take my son, potentially.
Wow.
E. There's no, listen, Eric, as objective it is. And Rich Paul is a part of all this navigation and orchestration as well. Let's call a spade, and they do what they do for their clients or whatever. But Rich Paul is a part of all the BS too. E, I got a question for you, E. Bronny James averaged 4 points a game.
Before you go, I want to comment on something.
Go ahead.
So,
go ahead.
LeBron, most likely Bronny's going to be with the Lakers. So isn't that the same thing Antetokounmpo did with his brother? Isn't that basically what he did?
Listen, you're totally right. And that, I can live it, right? And by the way, J.R. Smith did it with his brother Chris Smith years ago too.
Yes.
People do that, right? With the Knicks. People do that, People say to sign me, you got to bring my brother or bring my friend. I'm with that. But let me tell you the problem, So you're right, and get over it. Right? And by the way, in corporate America, okay, people have their friends hire their kids all the time, right? For jobs. You right. I can live with that, right? But then LeBron, stand on that. That's all I'm saying. I don't hear, listen, I don't hear Giannis out here saying his brother, right, could start on NBA rosters right now and his brother's such a great player. I don't hear Giannis saying that. Pretty much Giannis' brother's on the team because he's Giannis. We know that. He's standing on business saying, look, I need my brother on the team. He picked my nose when I got a booger in my nose. That happened before. His brother do whatever. He jump off the bench to start. If somebody push Giannis, he jump off the bench like he going to fight or whatever the case may be. That's his brother, though, but he make him feel comfortable. Yeah. I can rock with that. But stop trying to tell us that Bronny James is an NBA player because he ain't, Eric. Stop trying to tell us that, LeBron. And then get mad when we push back on that.
Yes.
And then have the nerve to be like, I don't even care if y'all pushing back. I'm gonna put him on my team or with my boy, and we're not even trying out for no other teams. And they telling teams if you sign him, you can't even do a two-way deal. You know that, right? You got to sign him right to the team. So not even a two-way.
Well, he got to make the roster.
He got to. So they said if you're doing a two-way, don't call us. Come on.
Come on, yeah, LeBron, come on. You're gonna do all that stand on business, LeBron. Come on, LeBron.
That's all I'm saying. Stop throwing stones and hiding your hands, E.
You're right. You got a valid point. LeBron, stand on business, man. What
that's
the kids
all I'm
say nowadays, stand on business, LeBron. If that's what you want, stand on it. Let's speak about it, and that's it. And move on.
That's all I'm saying, E. Yeah. Next topic, E. That's it, right?
Yeah.
E. Next topic. E. Right now I'm hot, you can tell. I'm hot. JJ Reddick, bad hire. Bronny, and by the way, let me just say one thing about Bronny James before we go on. Seems like a very nice young man. I will say that. And I'm not trying to just, placate the situation because I have my opinion. Okay. The young man had a heart issue. Yes. You wish him good health, right? We wish him good health. Sure. And for him to come back from that is phenomenal. So let's say that. Okay. But in terms of a player, he ain't it. He wasn't in high school. He definitely wasn't. Can you imagine what people like Boogie Ellis that was on his team must be thinking? He was probably Boogie Ellis, very good player for USC, like Pac-12 Player of the Year caliber player. What do you think he was doing to him in practice every day?
Yeah. I mean, listen, it goes both ways. One more thing, though, Frank. We got Shaquille O'Neal, when he tried to push his son, and it didn't work out for him. He tried to push his son to the NBA. Sharif, and it didn't work out for him.
Because he had no value, right? I mean, the Lakers still want LeBron to play.
So I'm just saying,
Shaq wasn't still playing. I guarantee you, Lakers Shaq, right? If he was trying to put his son on his team, the son would have been on the team. I guarantee you, when Shaq was good, he could put his son on the team.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. But anyway, let's switch gears. E.
Switch gears. We got some
switch gears.
Top topics.
Oh, E, coming in hot today, bro. E, let's talk about Paul George, right? Free agency's coming up. Okay, teams can sign their free agents now up until July 1. After the finals to July 1, you have an exclusive window. As you see Pascal Siakam sign with Indiana, exclusive window. E. Now, right now, Paul George has not re-signed with the Clippers. Okay, and by the way, OG Anunoby hasn't re-signed with the Knicks, which if guys are not signing now, you wonder there's some issues. So what do you think about Paul George, Eric? All right, the issue with Paul George supposedly is this. All right, the Clippers signed Kawhi to a 3-year, 150. I think it was 152.4. 3-year, $152 million deal, 0.4. Okay? The Clippers have now told Paul George, allegedly, that Kawhi is the franchise guy, and so we can't sign you for a bigger deal, right? So they could go to 4 years or more years, but they're telling him that they will only they can't pay him more than Kawhi. Okay? Now, with that being the case, E, teams like Philadelphia, for instance, who have cap space, can offer 4 years, $212 million. Okay? 4-year, $212 million. Supposedly, the Clippers are not willing to go past 3-year, $152.4. All right? Paul George is from LA, from Palmdale, from the area, right? Hometown kid, supposedly loves it here. Got everything going on, got his podcast. Family loves it here, E. Oh, he's made a lot of money already playing basketball. What do you do, E? Do you go sign with the Knicks? Can use him too, right? And the Knicks could pay good money too. If they don't sign OG Anunoby, the Knicks can pay him too. Do you go play for Philadelphia, which seems like an ideal landing spot? Imagine him with Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid. Instantaneously, if everybody's healthy, a championship caliber team, right?
I think for Paul George, what does he want? Because he has enough money. Now it's about trying to chase that ring. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the money. So if he wants to chase that ring and leave NBA as a champion, then you go for the best situation that fits you. And I think Philadelphia is the best situation that fits him as far as a team. If he's trying to chase a championship ring, you know what I'm saying? Because they say they want the ring, so it's not about the money, right?
Hold on, E. You keep saying that, bro. So you leave $50 million on the table. It ain't about the money. $50 million. More than 50. $60 million. You leaving $60 million on the table?
The man has made enough money. Right? He's made enough money.
Hey, I hear you. That's $60 million, bro. We ain't talking about $5 or $6 or $7 million, bro. $60 million. You leaving that on the table.
That's a lot of money, Frank. That's a lot of money.
Okay, now you saying about the money, bro.
That's a lot of money, Frank. That's a lot of money.
And by the way, he also may think if Kawhi can stay healthy, they re-sign James Harden, they bring that team back, they have a year together, the guys come back in shape, they have a training camp together. He may think that's a viable championship team. I mean, people thought that. When James Harden signed with them, people thought that was a viable championship team. Yeah. And then Westbrook went to the bench, and they had a good run, but they can't stay healthy. But he may think that team is just as good as Philadelphia would be with him as well.
Yeah, but man, I'm going to best land this spot where I know that I can make a championship run. Can the Clippers? I don't think the Clippers can make a championship run with the way the roster is constructed, with guys uncertainty. These guys get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And
Embiid gets hurt too.
Yeah, that's part.
Embiid is always hurt too.
I get it, but I think Philadelphia, with the way the roster is constructed, I think that'll be a best landing spot for him. And they're going to give him more money. You said $212 million.
$60 million. Yeah, I'm just going to be clear. Hey,
so
why
not take the money and you still can make a run out? You still can make a run at a championship. I'm taking the money and going to make that run out of championship. And the East is not that good.
East just won the championship, so let's be clear about that. Let's not do that.
But
the best team in the NBA is in the East, so you got to get through them. The best team in the NBA is in the East, and you got to get through them.
Frank, this could be an asterisk. We could put an asterisk with Boston's championship because you said it yourself. This was the most easiest run to the championship in playoff history. Come on, Frank. Come on.
Hold on. Let me say this. I feel that way, but they also were the best team during the regular season as well.
They were. I'll give you that.
So let's just say that they were the best team, and they won like 4-1, 4-0, 4-0, 4-1. I mean, they blew everybody out. But they were the best team during the regular season too. So the best team in the league, you can argue, well, not argue, is in the East. So you have to get over that hump, which is a bigger hump to get over than anybody in the West right now. So the West has more depth in terms of how good they are, in terms of more good teams.
Yeah.
But the best team that you have to get over is Boston.
Okay, I'll give you that. But come on, Frank. You said it yourself.
Right.
You said it yourself on one of
your. But I ain't leaving $60 million.
You're not leaving $60 million?
I ain't leaving $60 million on the table. I ain't leaving 60 on the table, but I'm sorry, bro. I tell my wife and my family, we listen, Philadelphia is a good enough. It in LA, I get it, but I can go down to Philly. We get us a little place in Philly. We have you can fly out to LA but bro, we got the private jet. Boom, 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 boom. I ain't leaving 60 on the table, and especially with a chance to win a championship. So you got Paul George going to Philly.
Yeah, I got Paul George going to Philly. I got Paul George going to Philly or the New York Knicks. One of those two land the spots. See, I'm shaking.
I would go to Philly. I would go to Philly. I would go to Philly before I go to the Knicks because Philly, to me, with him, I think he fits in good with the Knicks too, though, because the Knicks need a scoring wing too, plays defense. He fits in good with the Knicks too. I think either one of those teams would benefit significantly. The problem is Philly has a number one in Embiid. The Knicks don't have a number one in Brunson. So Philly got a guy that could put and Paul George already told you he doesn't want to be a number one. He told you that already.
Yep.
Right? So I think, the team is better. Yeah, hot topics, hot topics.
Come on,
good
Knicks.
Information. I mean, you ain't a Knicks fan. Stop it. You're a Golden State Warrior fan. Don't be a bandwagon jumper. You're a Warrior fan. Your team is done. We talk about that another day. But listen.
Yes.
Appreciate having you, as always. As we do this time of the show, we allow you to shout out your Dominican brothers and sisters that are out in the community, out in the world, doing great things.
Yes.
Who you want to shout out today?
All right. So as we getting ready to head into the Olympic Games, I think they start July 26th. I think, right? So we're gonna go with the track and field. Marilina Paulina, she was the world's 400-meter gold medalist. She's the favorite to win a gold in the 400 meters. So I'm giving a shout out to Marilina. I think that's how I pronounce her name, Paulina. Let's go. DR.
How you don't know how to pronounce the woman's name? Ain't you Dominicans? You don't speak Spanish? How you not gonna be able to pronounce a Dominican person's name?
You know my Spanish is a little, Frank. Madelina or Madelina.
That's all you speak in Washington Heights.
Paulina. We speak a different language in Washington Heights, Frank. Que lo que, que lo mío. We speak a different language. We don't speak Spanish. But anyway,
All right,
shout out. Good luck to her in the 400 meters. Bring home the gold medal to the Dominican Republic, baby. Let's go.
All good. All right, well, listen, it's always a pleasure having you on the show, my brother. Appreciate you. Love. We out.
Always.